Hey, and welcome to the Full Weight of Joy podcast, the podcast for women who are done stressing about the weight of the world, of expectations and settling for status quo, and ready to step into the full weight of joy. Joy in the journey, whether up or down, joy through the life's challenges, and joy in loving your life right where you are, even though sometimes we feel like chucking it all and moving to Bali. It's for women who are ready to step into who God called them to be. He chose you to be in this world. He created you for a specific purpose. God called us to be the light on a hill, and by embracing who you are and whose you are, you can stand on that hill and shine. The best part, when you're standing next to another woman who's also on the journey, the world gets brighter. My name is Tami. I'm your host and a master certified life coach and a trained therapist. For over a decade, I've been helping women do just that. Step into who they're called to be and shine. Are you ready, friend, to start your journey? Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Tami and I'm your host. And let me tell you what happened today. I recorded a podcast. I did a Hey Tami podcast, but I did it on a YouTube live because I was like, okay, let's try this. Let's do something new. Let's, work smarter, not harder. I'll do it live on there. And then I will take the audio and the video and repurpose it and take the audio and put it on my podcast too. And it was great. I did a Hey Tami episode. I talked about stepping into your confidence. So if you are, so go and listen to that. My YouTube channel is Tami Marie Coaching. So, same across the board, you can find it, but go and watch that and know that it's not here right now because I cannot download the video. I know the three dots. I know I've watched videos on how to do it. It's not actually possible. So I'm just going to take this as God telling me that it is to record another one for you. So this is a question that I get a lot in coaching. And this is not just for grief. It's not just for challenges. It's how can I get through this as fast as possible? And you can put this, and I kind of do quotes because this is whatever you want it to be. How do I move past it? How do I get through it as fast as possible? So I'm going to tell you my perspective on getting past and how to speed past, quote unquote, this. But before I do, I want to tell you about a webinar I'm going to do on December 21st. It is free. It's going to be fun. And I get the question a lot. I get a lot of people asking me, how do you share your story? How do you take what you know? Because we all have an impact. We all have a story to tell. All of us, whether you believe it or not. Sometimes you have a calling on your heart to share, to make an impact. You know that you've been told that your story is inspiring. You know inside that there's something to be used, like something you've been through needs to be used. And this is not limited to grief, my friend. This is not limited to losing a sister or a mom or a spouse or any of that. This is God telling you that that you get to make an impact with your story, with who you are, where you are. So this webinar that I'm doing is called, Do You Have a Story That Needs to Be Told? And it's 3 simple steps to sharing your story with heartfelt impact, with purpose, with intentionality, and doing it without losing yourself, without oversharing, and without seeming prideful or that you are, without seeming prideful. Because there's a lot of times that's something that stopped me is I don't want to seem that it's about me. So get into the webinar. The only way to get the replay if you can't come live is by registering for it because I won't know where to send the replay if I don't have your email. So with that, show notes, click on it, really easy. I ask you 2 things. First name, email, boom. You'll get information. I also have a free gift. If you do sign up, there are some journal questions that I have created for you to start helping you get into the right frame of mind and ask yourself if this is the right place for you. So with that, let's get into today's question of how do I get past quote unquote, this faster. And I want to pose a question back to you of why do you want to get past something as fast as possible? And I ask that knowing that you're thinking, Tami, this trauma I just went over, this grief, this sadness, this anxiety, this overwhelm, this whatever this is, I know that you just want it done. I also know that there are lessons in these trials. And when you try to rush past it, I think rushing past it is the wrong question. I think it's the wrong focus. I believe that when you're going through something, the quicker you can ask God, what am I supposed to see through it? How do you show up, God, for me through this? And how can I get closer to you? I think when we really look at it for what it is, we know God says over and over in the Bible that there will be troubles, that we will have trials, that we are, we are refined by the fire. As much as it would be amazing if we were refined sitting on a beach, sipping our favorite drinks, sipping a cool drink and listening to the waves lap onto the shore and, seeing the kids play in the splash in the water, is as much as it would be nice if that's how we grow and that's how we are refined, it's not. And wishing away the moment, wishing away the lesson. I talked in it earlier, I don't know, it could have been a year ago. I'm not sure. But I talk about the gifts of grief. I talk about how, though I stopped playing the if this then that game a long time ago, and if D was still here, I would be, you don't know what that is. The fact is, the situation is he's not here and I am. The fact is that I was chosen to walk this walk. I was enabled. This is my fire that I am being refined through. What you're going through, this is the fire you're being refined through. And think back of such a situation, of a topic, of something you've been through in your life that has shifted the way you see the world, shifted the relationship that you have with Jesus. If you would have sped through it, if you would have just said, okay, check, did it, move on, would you be the same person? And this is the same of wishing that the past didn't happen. There are some really terrible things that's happened to you. There's really things that are not your fault, things that happen to you. There's also been choices that we've made, and I will use personal choices here. There's choices that I have made that made my life more challenging. But again, I would not be the woman I am now if I didn't have those. And so instead of looking to get past it, instead of giving you a tip on, okay, do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, turn around 3 times and boom, your situation is done, over, and you're on your way to the next scenario, the next memory, I'm going to ask you to slow down for a moment. Take a deep breath and recognize that you have a purpose, that God is with you through every step of this, whatever this is. Lean in, ask him how you can, what is the lesson here? What part of this do you want me to be refined by? What am I learning? Am I learning this to help others? Am I learning this because there's a lesson I need to learn? I go through things often. There's lessons that I learned over and over and over again because I didn't stop to really see what God was telling me. I didn't slow down. I was ready for it to be done and check that off, be a survivor and move on. Not that I'm telling you that he's going to keep giving you circumstances to test you or to teach you, to punish you. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is he gives us opportunities to grow. We don't grow in comfort. We don't grow. In fact, our bodies go backwards when we're too comfortable. When we're too comfortable and we don't push our bodies to eat healthier, we don't push our bodies to exercise more and to gain that energy and take care of ourselves, we slip backwards. There is no staying the same. You're either growing forward or you're slipping backwards. So when you're trying to get through this, ask yourself, how can I move forward in this? How can I grow from this? Because if you don't, you're going to slip back. You're going to slip back into that victim mentality. You're going to slip back into old habits and old patterns that don't serve you anymore and don't speak to who you are or who you are in Christ. So I want you to really ask yourself the question of, what gifts is God showing me? And I guarantee that the one gift that I can 100% say is true is that he's there in the fire with you. Grab his hand, touch his cloak, be with him, look towards him, and you will get through it faster. You will get through it healthier. You will grow and you'll be able to use it for good, because God says everything can be used for good. So friend, as much as I know that you were looking for tips on how to get through this circumstance or this problem faster, I want to give you a different perspective of how can you grow in this moment. What gifts can you take? And it doesn't have to be the circumstance itself. It could just be another area where you recognize that I'm an overcomer, that I am a victim. I'm not a victim. Nope. Switch that. I am a victor, not a victim. That I don't have to let circumstances define who I am or what I'm capable of. So that's what I want to take. It's what I want to give to you today. Save this podcast. When you need a pep talk, this is the one. This is the podcast, because I know you are capable. I know that you have a purpose. You have a calling that's unique to you. You have gifts, you have strengths. You have a reason why these things are allowed to happen to you. I don't believe God does it to us, but I do believe, just like he did with Job, like he allows it to happen so we can learn about ourselves and we can learn about him and we can see him. So friend, if you're going through something and you want to see, okay, how can I use this? How can I make an impact? How can I grow from this? Contact me. Let's go deeper with this. Let's look and see, because I want to show you how you are a survivor, how you are an overcomer, and how you have these gifts that God's given you, and only you, that it may seem easy or you overlook because it comes so naturally to you. And those are highlights that he gives you to show you that he's with you. All right, friend, since this is a Hey Tami episode, I'm going to keep it short and end there. I do want you to come to the webinar. I really do. I think that it's going to be good. I think that it's going to help you understand your impact. And it's either going to tell you, yes, I do have an in story, or, oh, I'm not ready yet. But either way, this will help you take that next step. And it's free. And we get to hang out together. And I love hanging out with you. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Choose joy until joy chooses you. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.